How do people afford new cars?
So this is the reason why after 8 months of starting my own car dealership, I decided to move out of my unit.
I'm a used car dealer in Central Florida, and over the last few months, I've seen at least 3 different car dealers adjacent to me go out of business.
Car dealers going out of business is no surprise in the economy today because the entire market is completely upside down. And the pricing disconnect is hitting both buyers and dealerships harder than anyone wants to admit, as retail prices on new cars slowly slide downward while used prices somehow keep climbing, shrinking the everyday low prices people were used to seeing before the pandemic and creating this weird, frustrating gap where nothing feels affordable. Dealerships are stuck holding inventory they overpaid for during the peak of the shortage, and now that values are dropping on the new side, their used lots are packed with cars marked way above what customers are willing to pay, leaving dealers bleeding cash month after month just trying to keep the lights on while also convincing customers that these inflated prices are somehow normal. At the same time, buyers are more stressed than ever because they're walking onto lots expecting post-pandemic deals only to be met with numbers that feel like 2021 never ended, and this mismatch between expectation and reality has slowed sales to a crawl, which is why dealerships, especially smaller independent ones, are shutting down left and right. When used prices rise while new prices fall, the whole purpose of the used market collapses because why would anyone pay more for a car with miles, wear, and mystery history when a brand new model is almost the same price or even cheaper after incentives? Customers see this, they back out, demand drops, and suddenly dealerships are drowning in cars nobody wants at prices nobody can justify. This isn't just a rough patch, it's a full reset of the car market, and the businesses that can't adapt won't survive long enough to see stability return. Check out some of these videos.
So this is the reason why after 8 months of starting my own car dealership, I decided to move out of my unit. So a lot of people have been asking me how much was I paying for the unit. The first payment I gave to my landlord was £3,000, so a deposit and a month's rent up front. So the deposit to start my trade insurance was £714, right? So I paid that for trade insurance. And then monthly, it's £487 a month for my trade insurance. With my unit, there's a service charge every 3 months of £413.31. So every 3 months, I had to pay my landlord £413 and also £1,500. All down to what happened. Why did I move out of my unit? Okay, so let me explain. So in the summer months, it was going well. I had about 8 cars in stock. Obviously, having that amount of cars in stock isn't a lot, so it's hard to keep it up. So average stock was probably about 5-6 cars in stock, because like one sell and then it takes a while to buy another one. So, but like the most I've ever had in stock was 8. So in the summer, during the summer months, it was cars were flying out. I was selling like 10-15 cars a month. Cars were flying out, and bow, yeah. October, November, December happened. So in October, I went from selling like 10 to 15 cars a month to selling 5 cars a month, right? So that month, I say I broke even, managed to pay for everything and pay myself my wage. Then November comes. In November, I only sold 1 car. So this time of year in the car trade is very slow. So November, I only sold 1 car. So whatever money was in the stockpile to buy stock had to go on bills. So like all in total, it was about say like £3,000 a month for all the unit bills or whatever. So if you take £3,000 away of the money in the pot, that's like 2 cars that you can't buy anymore, right? December was a bit better. I sold about 3-4 cars in December, sort of broke even, but still had to eat money out the pot. So that was like another extra 1 car I couldn't buy. I went from selling 8 cars to now having about 3 cars in stock, which just wasn't enough. So it was just going downhill, right? By the way, this is all documented on my YouTube channel. So if you want to see my journey, go on my YouTube channel, Jamie's Car Flips, and this is all documented, right? Coming to January, I thought, you know what, yeah, this unit is too expensive, because bearing in mind, yeah, I've also got to pay myself a wage, I've got rent to pay, I've also got another insurance to pay because I had another multi-car policy, and because of my age, I was 22 at the time and had trade insurance, they only insured me up to a 1.8, and my car's a 3 litre, and my car is worth more than the threshold that my trade insurance would insure me on. So I had a separate policy for that car and my girlfriend's car that I was paying for. And then at the time, I had a son. He's literally going to be 2 in January. So obviously I've got to provide for my family. Yeah, so obviously got to pay my rent at the place that I'm living, council tax, gas, electric, all of that stuff, and then also with the unit as well. So there's quite a lot of stress at times. So I decided to call it quits and say, you know what, I've got a couple of grand left in the bank. Before I end up running out of money, I decided that I'm going to move out of my unit. So I think it was in February this year, I decided to move out of my unit. And if I knew what I knew now, I've had plenty of businesses in the past, but they've been online businesses. But this one is like the first proper business. And obviously I've been flipping cars for ages. So when it comes to cars, I know a lot about cars, right? But when it comes to like the unit and stuff like that, and like business rate, thank God that the unit was didn't have any business rates on the unit, so I didn't have to pay for that. There's also a lot of cost into it. The startup costs, obviously I got to pay for the sign, buy all the equipment. What went downhill for me was that buying cars from car auctions, there was a month where I just had, all the cars had problems, and my mechanic can only do my cars on the weekends, yeah? So there's certain things that I can do myself, like brake pads and discs and servicing, but when it comes to doing like a clutch or like a timing chain, my mechanic's got to do that, yeah, because I don't have all the tools to be doing that, and I can't be asked to be doing all of that. So like I'd have to wait for him for the weekend. So I say I bought the car Monday or whatever, I got to wait till like Saturday or Sunday for him to do it. And then he might be busy that weekend and ghost me, and then I got to wait till the next weekend, and then that's just like 2 weeks now waiting where I could have fixed and sold that car. So that's also happened. When I was buying cars privately, like it was just so much better, because if the car was crap I could walk away, innit? But the demand wasn't enough. I needed to fill out that showroom as quick as possible, and trying to buy cars on Gumtree and Facebook, it's so hard to find a good car. But vice versa, that's why I went to auction and started buying from auction. Obviously, yeah, so that's basically what happened. So I decided to move out of my unit because the rent was too expensive. If I knew what I knew now, what I would have done was I would have tried to find a yard for like £500 a month. That's what I would have done. Wish I did do that, but obviously you live and you learn. So when I go again, I'm going to look for a yard for like 500 quid and stock it out with cars. So at the moment, I'm still flipping cars, doing it from home, and I have multiple incomes. So I have lots of different incomes. So would I say cars is my main thing? It's like, yeah, one of the stuff. Like if a car sells, then I got extra money in it. That's how I see it. I don't solely just rely on cars anymore. So yeah. That's it, especially at this time of year, it's slow. So if you're going to want to start flipping cars, yeah, it's always good to have a side income.
I'm a used car dealer in Central Florida, and over the last few months, I've seen at least 3 different car dealers adjacent to me go out of business. And I'm going to tell you guys about the commonalities I see between these dealers. I work out of an auto mall, so it's one dealer right next to another, usually with small inventory sizes. Personally, I have 6 cars in my lot. And so I'm gonna tell you guys about the commonalities. Number 1 is the kind of cars they stock. Late 2000s to early 2010s cash cars. I'm talking Hondas, Toyotas, Hyundais, and some certain pickup trucks. In my opinion, the market for these vehicles is oversaturated, as well as wholesale prices at the auction are remaining high while retail values for these vehicles are going down. Customers are willing to pay less, which is shrinking the gap between wholesale price and retail price, which reduces profit. Number 2 is they were all on a floor plan. Floor plans are great for new dealers. They're not inherently bad. If you don't have a lot of capital behind you, you can go to a flooring company, get a credit line, usually for $50,000 as a new dealer. And you can go to the auction and buy cars. You pay a fee per car and then interest after a certain number of days, usually 30 days. And usually if you can turn over your inventory within a month, that's most optimal. But all of these dealers were on floor plans. And the last thing is they were not moving inventory. And this is the part I haven't figured out yet, because I see these guys at the dealership every day. I see their Facebook Marketplace ads. They're working hard. I know they want to sell their cars, but for some reason they're not moving them. And I think it's because I talked about in the first point is there's an oversaturation of these types of cars in the market. Nothing is standing out. And I'm going to talk about the vehicles that I'm selling. You know, I haven't gone out of business. Obviously, I'm making this video. I'm going to tell you guys about some of the cars I'm having success with. So drop a follow if you want to see that video. Drop a comment on what you think that might be the cause for these people not moving inventory, how you guys are doing in whatever your region you're in. I'm in Central Florida, and I just want to hear you guys' opinion. So drop a comment, drop a follow, and I hope to see you guys soon.
How do people afford new cars? New car prices are through the roof. I've been living in La La Land because I sell used car. I own a small used car dealerships, and I go out of my way to make sure my prices are the cheapest in the country. I just left AutoNation Ford in Sanford, and I peeked at the prices. I was just curious, like, what does a new car cost? Even though I got a new Lexus, I know Lexus is expensive. But Ford should be an affordable vehicle, right? Like, everybody knows the Tundra and Tacoma are unaffordable. $30,000 for a Ford Escape, $30,000. Then they're gonna hit you with $5,000 in fees. You're talking $35,000 for a Ford Escape. This is an ultimate piece of shit. This shit fucking sucks. This is not even a good car a little bit. Then you have the 6-cylinder single cab at 40 racks, $40 fucking $1,000 for a V6 non 4x4. Like, what are we? Oh my God, 40 grand. Plus fees, you're in it for $45,000 before you finance. And this one blew my mind. $58,000. $58,000. This is the V8. This is the 5.0, right? But this is the base model, bro. This base, this ain't got a lever. This ain't got no damn sunroof. This base motherfucking model, right? $60,000 damn near plus the fees. You're in it for $65,000. Oh my God, you're talking $70,000 for a base model F-150. How the fuck is Ford selling these? Yo, you're talking about your payment on a $35,000 car is anywhere from $500 to $700, right? Depending on your credit and what you put down. Then on a single cab truck, you're talking $600 to $800. Then on the other one, you're talking $1,000 a month. Come on, bro. What are we doing? Where is the country headed? Like, oh my God. Then they promise you all these savings, $9,000 off. You go in there, you don't get none of those incentives. None. You can't even get somebody to talk to you, right? They act like they bad and bougie. Like y'all selling so many vehicles that you can't talk to a customer. Me and my man walked in there and they didn't say shit to us. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. With prices like that, when I walk in, used to be like, good morning, sir. It's cold outside. Here goes a cup of coffee. Here goes these luxury chairs. Have a seat. Put your feet up. What can we do for you today? You need to kiss some ass with them motherfucking prices.